Let's talk about something super, super important that I discovered pretty early in my career and has been instrumental in allowing me to operate businesses using premium pricing, good profit margins, and actually making money. When I started in real estate, I knew no one. I was a young kid. I had no network. I had very little social skills. I didn't have any silver spoon or anything. So my sphere of influence was very small. Now, as a real estate agent, I was supposed to find clients for my services, like any other business owner. And one of the tricks that they taught us was you farmed. And what they meant by farming was you picked an area, like a couple of streets or some zip codes, doesn't matter. You pick an area, let's say 500 to 1,000 homes, right? And what you do is you start sending them mailings and even being seen in the direct surroundings there. And you become the local real estate agent, their local real estate agent. And I thought that was a pretty solid idea. The next question was, which area are you going to pick? And that forced me to make some choices. Like, are you going to pick very expensive homes? Going to pick very low-priced homes? Because as a real estate agent, the more expensive the house, usually the higher your commission. So a lot of people in my company went for the expensive homes. My first idea was dead wrong. So what I want to get across to you in this course is not so much that you need to be perfect at everything and be perfect at first try. I certainly was not. I made a massive mistake. My first idea, because there was so much data, I had no idea what was important. So I just decided, let's take the surrounding area around the office, because that's easy, right? I just walk out the door, there's my area, the office is in there, so it seemed like a smart idea. And the office where I worked was located in like a small, more rural, village-ish surrounding. And I was not from there. And I started doing it, and after, I don't know, 2, 3 months, nothing was happening. And not even nothing was happening, but I had multiple complaints from people whining about me sending them mailings. I found out that later on that the target audience, the people that I was mailing to, were all between 50 and 70 or 300, I don't know, but old people, especially for me back then when I was like 20. 50-year-old is pretty old then. And it wasn't working out. It took me a while to understand why. And suddenly I had this flash of insight that seemed brilliant at the time. And now looking back at it, you would think like, why didn't you immediately think of that? The number that I should have been looking for was the amount of homes that were being sold in that area. Like, who was actually selling? Start looking it up. Turns out there's like 3 homes being sold a year in that area. So my target audience doesn't really match with me. I'm a 20-year-old kid trying to sell to 50, 60, 70-year-olds. Doesn't really mesh. I'm in an area I don't know, that I'm not familiar with, talking to people that I'm not familiar with, and I'm trying to target an area that had extremely little transaction size. The market just wasn't there. And I figured this out after quite some time, and I decided to move. And my next criterion was very simple. I just looked at the areas where the amount of transactions was much, much higher. So find this area that has a lot of young families or people that moved there as their first or second house and they wanted to start a family. You got a lot of people moving in, you got a lot of people moving out, you got divorces, you got babies being born, you got people moving up to a bigger home, and I can't remember exactly the number, but the number of, like, the market size must have been like 150 transactions a year or something compared to the 2 or 3 of the area that I was previously farming. So I start farming there. Now I'm talking to young people as well, that those matched better with my profile. I'm sowing a much more fertile soil, and I started getting success pretty quickly. The reason I give you this example is because of something that Gary Halbert, a very famous marketer and copywriter, called the starving crowd principle. And he did this seminar, and he asked, like, let's say you and I were going to start a hamburger joint, right? We're going to start a hamburger place, and you can have any advantage you want. You can have a dancing clown, you can have the best burgers, you can have the best location, and then you go compete with me, Halbert said. And he said, I only want one thing. You pick anything you want as long as I can get a starving crowd. And that's such a solid principle when you're looking at your target audience, your target customer, like whatever service you're looking to sell. Make sure you're targeting people that actually want what you sell, need what you sell, can be fired up about what you sell, can buy what you sell. Target the starving crowd. Don't sell shoes to people without feet. Don't sell steaks to vegans. Think about your target audience and what they want. Think about your starving crowd and make sure that you're setting yourself up with the best possible odds for your business.